So I just got off a call with um, an experienced operator, somebody who's been in a variety of industries from manufacturing, sales, um, and a lot of things related to the energy market.
Okay.
And this guy's been working on building a company with some other people. They have zero revenue and a whole bunch of infrastructure.
All right.
Like they built their own custom CRM, they built their own custom training modules, they built their
Whoa.
like the works. And they've got products, they've got their margins and everything figured out. And they've been doing this in total for 2 years. This guy I was speaking with, he's been doing it for about 8 months.
Uh-huh.
And they are stuck in a rut that I see so many um, entrepreneurs get stuck in. And it's easy for me to recognize because I've been stuck in it myself,
Right.
where they're building level 4 or 5 of their business and they haven't even taken the first real step. And so they get so stuck. So he was pulled so many different directions, building things that they didn't even need yet.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. They'd have their own custom CRM and they haven't even taken money from a customer yet. That's an amazing amount of effort to keep building with zero validation that what you're building is actually worthwhile.
And that's what they were going to keep doing. Like
Hmm.
he was going to spend some time on sales. He was going to spend some time continuing to improve their offering, improve their documentation, improve their training. Like it's like, and it's not that they haven't been talking to customers and doing some bids and talking and working with people, but they still barely scratch the surface of what for them is likely going to be a it's $1 billion opportunity.
A
Like it's not.
billion.
Yes, it's not a small opportunity they're playing on.
Do you think
And
that their fear of the fact that their opportunity is a billion is what's maybe driving them to think they have to have perfection before they even step out into the room of business?
yeah, that's actually a really good insight. I think that's definitely part of it. I don't think that
Mhm.
answers the whole question, but that's got to be a big part of it. It's like their opportunity is so good and so big, they think they have to be perfect to tap into it. But as you say that, and as we put that into words, I'm thinking like the truth is actually the opposite. The bigger the opportunity is, the less perfect you need to be when you're starting out. Because the
Absolutely.
opportunity is so big. Like if you screw up a small part of it, there's still all the rest of it to go after.
Right, right. Yeah, you lose that one customer, and you're like, "Oh, well, there's still 900,999 whatever left
Right.
that we go after."
Yeah. Anyway, so I think that's definitely part of it, and like that is interesting that we can think about that inverted from what should the way it really should be. It's like the bigger your opportunity, the easier. And anyway, so like it's just interesting to watch the structure of these startups because there's two companies that are essentially the same company, owned by a total of 8 different people.
Oh, wow.
Only two of which, one at each of these companies, are actually doing anything in the companies.
Whoa.
And the companies have no
That's a lot of human overhead capital type of situation.
it is like I just like and you can see how how these things develop. It's like I got a relationship with somebody, they'll say, yeah, I'll help you start this thing up, but they've got their own things going, and so they're not involved in trying to make anything happen.
Yep.
And you're not even really taking their money. They just said they want to be part of it, and you let them be part of it. It's like it's just such a messy situation, and and especially when they've been going down this path for years. I mean, the guy that I was speaking with, he's barely making it, like he's barely making enough money to make ends meet. And despite the fact that he's got
He
the
has a
opportunity.
billion dollars sitting on the other side of this door, and he's so
Yep.
busy building the perfect machine that will drive him through the door and open the door for him that he can't ever open the door and start taking shovelfuls of that money for himself.
Light, like that
Well,
is exactly like I mean, have you ever felt in that position?
Oh, absolutely. I think every entrepreneur has probably gotten stuck in some way with that, where they think that, man, I've got to get this. But wait, before I go out there, I've got to make this perfect. And what about if they ask me this? I've got to figure out that. And what about? And pretty soon they just run down that rabbit hole, and they're 5 miles deep and have no idea what they were even starting out trying to do, because it's grown so far from what the original intent was, and yet it's brought them no benefit.
Well, in these guys' case, there's a particular model that they've been wanting to create
Hmm.
that doesn't fit their business.
Oh,
The way
wow.
in the way that they want to have their product and service promoted to the market, and it was making me think about it because I'm familiar with the dealer model. I've been on
Mhm.
both sides of it as a manufacturer with dealers and as a dealer rep for manufacturers.
Yep.
And as I see, a dealer model is designed to provide the marketing and sales for the manufacturer, along with liability protection. You've got a franchise model, which is able to provide to get or to generate vested management. So, like,
Mm,
people that you trust because the incentives are aligned to actually run a business model that you've created, so that
mm.
you can grow. Like, it's a recruiting tool.
Yep.
Um, you've got direct sales where you could just keep everything in house and just sell direct to whoever your end customer is. You got like a wholesaler model where you can sell to a wholesaler, and they've got to have like all their sub distributors that stock retail locations with your product. And maybe you run national advertising or local advertising, whatever, to try and move your product, but it's not nearly as connected with like a dealer or franchise model would be. So like, there's a variety of these different models, and you got to pick the right one that works for your business, that covers the weaknesses or the challenges that you don't want to deal with.
Yep.
I mean, because like, I think if we could all work on just one thing, is like there's some people who just love to be a manufacturer. There's some people who would love to do nothing more than sales and not have to worry about delivery. And other people who would like, I just want to deliver all day long. Don't make me figure out sales.
You know what's interesting? You identified all these different mechanisms for delivering the same thing, but regardless of which mechanism, you have to have the same systems, and you just listed them out.
Yeah. Yeah. You've got to have like, what is your sales model? How does that work? What is your delivery model? How does that work? And these are all just like franchise or dealers or things like that are just answers to those questions of how those aspects work.
Right. So
And
what did you end up how did you end up helping these people?
well, so they've in their time that they've been spending, they actually have solved a number of issues that are going to be able to help them. I mean, their work isn't lost,
Mhm.
but they were just going to continue going down that path. So what I was able to do for them is to really zero in. I asked them the question: if you were to start this from scratch today, and one of the reasons I asked this question, because he's got so much baggage from relationships and people that he's talked to and commitments that have been made up. But if you were to start this from scratch today, knowing what you know, and even with the tools and infrastructure that you built, what relationships would you perpetuate and continue, and what would they look like?
Mm.
And he's like, well, this entire thing that we've tried to build, I would just get rid of that entirely, and I would do this over here instead. And these relationships, I would continue a few of them, but I would restructure the way that it's done. And so that got him to really think, it's like, okay. And then they like, well, we just got to this point where this other company can start doing this thing. And I'm worried that if I don't stay involved in that, that I'm going to miss out on my upside for helping to build that. It's like,
Oh.
okay, but you've just told me that, bringing these other people on is a mess, and you want to try and help them, and you want to solve a different problem to try and help them, but they're going to be really slow at actually moving. They're not going to move nearly as fast as you fear they are. And so like, so it was just another one of the excuses for not going after the $5 million that he could get in the next 2 weeks.
Did
Like,
you pose that to them and say, what would it do to the business if instead of building anything at all, you just went out and chased money via customers until you received, I don't, and you said 5 million, until you received 5 million as an example.
Mhm.
Did you, and what was the result of that mental exercise with them?
It blew their minds because they've been stuck in this rat race, like being pulled to me. I'm worried about this. I'm worried about that. I'm worried about the other. It's like, let's stop and let's think about it. If we could, so you've got these leads already. They're already warm leads. They're already people who want your product. Like they're basically ready to go. You just have to push them over the finish line.
Mm.
So you have a huge pile of potential revenue. And again, not cold leads. These are like warm or even hot leads. People who are like, I'm just waiting for you to get your ducks in a row so you can come and give me what you've got.
Oh wow. They're saying, here's my money. Hurry up and take it.
Yes. Some of them are. Which again is just like,
how
do
many
you
people would love to have 100 of those? Right?
Right?
Just standing right outside your door. Please take my money.
They've got a few that are $1 million jobs by themselves.
Oh, nice.
That's why I say, like, in the next 2 weeks, he could close $5 million in jobs. And they don't take that long to actually to deliver either.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and so, but they've been so busy with those other things. So that was the thing. Like, so what do you think would happen if you did this? And I said, like, how fast do you think you do it? And he's the one that gave me the numbers. Like, I didn't throw the numbers at him. It's like, if you just spent 90% of your time doing X, what would that do? It's like, well, we could generate this much in revenue and it has this much profit margin. It's like, okay. Well, and then if we kept doing that for 6 months, what happens? Oh, then we've done $50 million. And with a good profit margin. It's like, okay, well, this other company that wants to set up this other thing that you've been working with, do you think it would be hard to buy them out if you did $50 million in revenue in the next 6 months? What about the manufacturer? Like, what are you worried about missing out on?
Mm-hmm.
And that simple mental exercise got them to realize, like, wow, if we just actually take advantage of what's right in front of us, take that first step, not worried about building out the $1 billion thing. Let's just worry about the first million, 5 million, 10 million, 50 million. Like, let's keep it. Let's go step by step. Like, it completely changed their mentality, and they stopped being worried about the opportunity they were missing out over here, and were able to actually look at and it's that fear of, like, that FOMO, and they brought it up. It's like, and I forget what the researchers were, but we will do more to avoid a loss than we will to make a similar gain.
Right.
Or however that's actually phrased.
Yep.
And so they were doing so much to avoid losing on an opportunity that they weren't taking advantage of the one that was right in their face.
Yep.
And but this isn't unique just to them. It's like every small business owner, whether it's an HVAC contractor, a print shop, web design, like, there's so many areas that you could go and you could chase different things and different opportunities. But at the end of the day, there's probably one that's standing right in front of you, which is likely just more of what you've already been doing.
Mm-hmm.
But because you've been doing this for so long, you're like, well, is that even real an opportunity?
Or the other real problem that I see is people will have those opportunities of what they've been doing forever, but the issue is they don't know how to maybe do the sales or the marketing and promotion to attract new customers for that same service. And so they only know how to attract enough customers to be where they're at right now. Oftentimes it's not quite enough. So they'll add a secondary service or a third service or a fourth service, because they're like, well, if I get one customer doing this, maybe I can get one doing this and doing this, doing this. If I add 20 services, I can have maybe 20 customers, whereas right now I only have one. And what they don't realize is, instead of focusing on the product and the offer and the model, they need to go over here and say, how do I announce that to the marketplace and how do I close those sales? And once they strengthen those muscles, then they can scale up to a whole new level of volume that they wouldn't be able to otherwise.
I mean, I remember early in my career falling into the same trap, maybe a little differently. It was like, I had these customers. I was like, okay, each of these customers gives me X amount of dollars every year. It's like, well, what else? I'm selling a construction project to them. Well, they probably need window cleaning for their personal house. I didn't do this, but like, I'm just examples like, and they could probably use a vacation planner, and they could probably use and you could think about all the different things that you could provide to the same customer.
Eat food. Maybe I could deliver food to them,
right? And so, so your business gets broken into all these different pieces, and none of them make that much money because you're trying to extract every dollar you possibly can out of an individual customer instead of having a much simpler business where you do one thing really well and you learn how to go get more customers to do that thing for it.
How many companies are you aware of that really excel at doing a lot of stuff?
That doing a lot of stuff, like
a lot of unrelated services.
None.
I can think of a few top level companies that are massive conglomerates, and the way they excel at doing something totally different is they're like, ooh, they are really good at doing what they do. I'm going to buy that. Whoop, now they're part of me. You guys still operate the way you've been operating, but now you're under our brand name. That's the one way that I've seen that it works really, really well for a company to be able to do something over here and something over here and be totally unrelated, but still excel at it.
Oh, but that's where you're like stretching the definition, I think, of what we're talking about here with the company. It's like they didn't absorb the company. It's not that company that's doing all the other things. Like that company is still doing its thing. You're just talking about the ownership structure.
I am, but I wanted to emphasize that because unless you're at the stage of business that you're looking out and you're absorbing a whole nother business into yours, and you can go out and make those kinds of those purchases, it's usually a bad idea to move in a completely different direction inside that same company.
Well, yes. Yeah, absolutely. Like you've got, and that's how all the big companies do it that are successful, is they create completely separate divisions that have their own books, their own models for pricing, because if they keep it under the same umbrella, then the incentives are going to be misaligned, and they're not going to be able to see clearly on how to manage each company. So when they have separate products, they separate it into completely separate divisions that run essentially independently of one another.
Yep, exactly. And if you as a business owner don't have the capability of having enough team to operate independently, watch out for that trap, because that trap snags a ton of businesses. And it's almost like you're running in quicksand. You take a step and it just sucks you down. And you try and take one more step and it sucks you a little bit further. And you go from running to kind of crawling to drowning to your business dies.
Well, and that's the issue that so many get stuck in. I think with this, like these people that I was just speaking to earlier, they know how to get leads. That's something they have down. Like that's, but when it comes to a lot of small businesses, like as you say, they know how to get so many leads, but they don't know how to get more beyond that, and so they just try and figure out how they can do more for those same leads that they already have.
And that's a great model too. When the services are
right,
yeah, if it's structured right and it's just closely related and tied in a way that doesn't change the business, then by all means go all day and add a good supplemental service or a premium level service or whatever it is, but make sure that they're related really, really closely.
It's got to be tied in such a way as like, because we know that every time we solve one problem for a customer, we create a new problem for that customer. And that's how you know how to grow your business, but you shouldn't be doing that until you're doing enough of just your one single service that it really truly makes sense to add the other one, because even adding that second service, even being tightly related, it still increases the complexity of your operations, and it can do so to the point to where it drags everything down.
Yeah, it increases the complexity at every single function of the business, because now you have to figure out, how do we communicate at a sales level? How do we communicate this when we're promoting and marketing? How do we communicate this in our accounting? Every single one of those sections gets more complicated, and that requires more time, more effort, more energy. And if you don't have the manpower to handle it, you're out of luck.
Well, and the other thing that gets us stuck is not getting out of that saying yes to everybody who wants to give us money, and not running the metrics to know what kind of jobs are actually profitable for us.
Hmm.
So I had to learn in one of my first companies which kind of jobs to start saying no to,
Yeah.
because I was like, I thought that, so I do this is the size of job I normally do, and I thought, well, if I just scale it, like I can do a smaller version of that. I just scale it down and keep everything the same. Come to find out, I wasn't even making any money on the smaller version of it. So it's like, so if the size of the project got small enough, I had to like triple the margins so that it was worth my time to do it,
Hmm.
which meant I wasn't doing as many of them, which was okay because then my crews were free to do more of the size of project where I actually made money.
Yeah.
And I've seen the same thing in manufacturing. It's these product lines, and like you have it because essentially you do custom manufacturing in your business.
Hmm. All day, every day.
It's like, what product lines are your loss leaders? It's like, well, it's only you only really have a loss leader if there's another ROI that it's bringing in, because it's bringing in a new client or whatever. If you're just selling something at a loss just because it's part of your product line, you need to cut it. Not use fancy words as an excuse that you should keep it because you have a half a dozen customers that demand that you do it. So
Yep.
the big thing to help these guys was really getting them to recognize their fears were unfounded,
Hmm.
that when they start making money, it's going to solve things. And then it came down to like one of the biggest unlocks was giving them the schedule to follow. It's like, so you've
Okay.
got all these different parties you interact with. You get 1 2-hour meeting a week with them,
Hmm.
and you get to answer emails once a day. It's like, oh yeah, but there's going to be other things. Like, okay, tell me what you have to do that is so time sensitive that it can't wait for 24 hours. Nothing. It's like, the squirrels are what's killing you. Let's kill the squirrels instead. I'm not advocating eradication of squirrels, but
Yeah, yeah, that is a critical. And I found myself this week in that same boat where I'm looking out and, okay, what do I want to do with my time? And then pretty soon, rather than working on the thing that really moves my business forward, I got stuck in this quagmire of useless activities that are keeping me busy. And I'm looking up and I'm like, how did I do that to myself? Oh, it's not by following I didn't follow what I taught myself. Doesn't follow what I preached to other people. Soon as I stop doing those things, the squirrels, they just come in, they drive you crazy, and then you start chasing squirrels all day long, and you never really feel like you're successful because the squirrel almost always gets away. And then you're like, oh, rats. Wait, new squirrel.
right. And so I had to explain to them, it's like, it's going to feel bad for the next couple weeks as you do this. Like you're going to feel like you're missing things, you're dropping the ball, like you're letting people down, like you're like all these feelings are going to assault you, and you just have to. I don't know any other way than you just have to get through it. Like you just have to bear
Mhm.
with it until you realize that what you're doing is actually working. And that's what he was excited about. He's like, I know this will work. Like as soon as I focus and dedicate my time to sales, like it's going to unlock, and that's what's going to keep me focus and able to do this. The other thing we did is we created an accountability agent
Mm,
that's going to basically ping him 3 times a day and ask him if he's staying focused on what he's supposed to be staying focused on.
nice.
So, and that took us all of 3 minutes to build, which
Mhm.
was pretty awesome. Good. I think it's a good use of a simple automation you can create with standard AI.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great idea. A little something to check in and keep you accountable is awesome idea, especially for
So,
people who are in that zone of the squirrel, where the squirrel's just pulling them like crazy.
so anyway, that's what we did for him. So we'll see. Like, I got to follow up with him next week. We'll see if it actually helped. Um, see if he actually follows through all of the things. But it's always exciting to see how these things are built and developed and what they morph into, and then how simple it is to cut all these extra strings and just like focus down. You have one next step to worry about, and the simplicity that it brings. Like because when we talked, like I could see as we were talking the weight coming off his shoulders,
Oh, wow.
like visibly. It's like he was just buried under everything, and I could just see he was starting to sit up straighter. Like his eyes got brighter. It's like he could see a path forward. And it was by saying no to all the other stuff and just simplifying what's the one thing that's going to give you the next unlock. Like he didn't
Mhm.
need more leads. He didn't need delivery. He didn't need any of those other stuff. He just needed to start closing some deals.
Hmm. Well, I hope that you keep us up to date on how this works out over the next little while, and I'm hoping this turns into a success story where he took the advice, stop chasing the squirrels, started staying focused on the one next step that he needed to in the business, and it'll be amazing to hear what happens next if he does all those things.
Yeah, I even showed him my 3D printed chain with all the different size links.
Oh, nice.
So I mean that prop is still helping.
Good. 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 All right. Anything else we should cover? I think we've about used up our time.
Yeah, I think that's about it. Thanks, Jason.
Thanks. See ya.